Welcome to the live stream. Hope everyone's having a great day. Woo! Man, this YouTube, they're changing everything about the live stream and stuff, so it's all complicated. And I went to start it, and it's like you're set to private, so you have to put it. Don't even get me started. Hey, what's up, Chip? Man, I've been sitting here for like 4 or 5 minutes trying to get everything situated and worked out. And man, why does things have to change? If they're going to change it, that's fine, but don't roll it out till you got all the bugs worked out, because man, it's Anyway, hope everyone's having a great day. Whew. Yeah, I know it looks dark today. I don't know. Here, let me do something. Maybe this will work. There we go. A little bit better. Alright. Anyway. Whew. What a week. What a week. Man, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know it's been one hell of a week. What's up, Mark Baker? Oh, man. Been fighting my heat treat oven and fighting all kinds of stuff and my plumbing and everything else. Woof. In fact, I got my, I was trying to do stainless. If you watched that last video on heat treating, at the end of it, you saw my oven, wasn't working, and I figured out one of the elements busted. And the element busted because when I built it the last time, I tried to make it airtight. So I put refractory cement over the holes where the wires went through. So when it got up to like 1600 or whatever, which once you get elements, heat treating elements or whatever those elements are called, cantho wire elements over like, I think it's 1200 degrees or something, they get real brittle. So when it was trying to expand, once it gets up to like, because I think it got up to like 1890 and then busted. So it was like real close. And yeah, so since the refractory cement was holding them in place when they tried to expand, it snapped. So I took a piece off the other heat treat oven and wired it back together. Now people would probably say, well, why didn't you use the other oven? But basically I didn't use the other oven because it's not completely ready. I need to make a door for it. But anyway, I digress. So, and the thing is, with something that's 1900 degrees Fahrenheit, you can't sit there and fix it right then. You got to wait till the next day. And as I'm trying to fix it, the pieces are just breaking. So that's why I had to wire in a new piece, which actually did good to, and it made it. I got the stainless steel after like 4 attempts, things breaking, things not working right. I finally got the stainless steel done. I went to temper yesterday because with CPM 3V, you have to temper at 1000 degrees. And my oven, I noticed one of the elements was sagging a little bit, and I was like, oh, I better fix that. I went to push it up, and it snapped. So I got to wait for the new elements and then redo the oven. But next time, I'm not going to cement in where the elements come out. That way they have room to move. And then I had people commenting on like Facebook and stuff. They're like, oh, man, I was thinking about building my own heat treat oven, but after seeing all the problems you've had, man, I'm not gonna attempt it. I'm just gonna save up and buy a new one. And believe me, if I had $1,200, I'd buy a new one too. But when you could build one for like $400, probably, actually, if you could find local bricks, it's probably, because I think it's like $100 to ship the bricks, so it's probably like $300 all in, plus time. Hey, what's up, Bootleg Legs? What's going on? What's up, Laz? Got to working and lost track of time. Yeah, Bootleg Blades, that new video, man, I like it. Converting that 2x72 is sweet. Like I said, I commented on Bootleg's things. He's like, it's like, man, you're dedicated and driven and hard-headed like me. You gotta finish it. And now it looks sweet. But, yeah, man. So, and that's basically what I'm talking, So, I spend $400 building this heat treat oven. And say I have to replace the elements, what? So, $1,200, $800. So say I have to replace the elements, or $50 for elements. 16 times I'd have to replace the elements to justify buying a new one. But then again, you know, it's that back and forth. If you buy a new one, most likely you're not going to have problems. But the good thing is, when you build it yourself, you know how to fix those problems. Oh, man. But yeah, so I finally got the stainless done and all that, and was, you know, I was like, man, yeah, you know, that accomplishment, once you conquer something that's just like kicking your ass for days or weeks or however long I've been trying to do this stainless, you're like, yeah, I accomplished something. Went to take a shower yesterday morning and sitting there and turned the things off and the cold water wouldn't turn off, which, you know, it's real fun being hit with cold water that you think has been turned off, and then having to run naked, well, with a towel, downstairs to turn the whole water for everything off. And I was like, come on. So, luckily, you know, back in, what was it, man? How long ago was that? Back in 2004, maybe? Or, anyway, I was a plumber's helper, so I know the basics of plumbing. But this is an old house. This house was built in like 1965, so, you know, new construction versus old construction's a little bit different. But so I took the whole thing apart, and I was trying to get the piece like behind the wall off, but I didn't want to really wrench it because I was afraid I'd bust the pipes and all that. So I took that one piece up to Home Depot, and luckily I found a guy. Well, one guy was sitting there trying to answer questions, and I knew right off the bat he didn't know what he was talking about. And I found another guy, and the other guy was like, kind of knew what he was talking about, but then he's like, but let me take you over to this guy that did plumbing for like 10 years. And I was like, yes, you know. So, you know, and that's one thing I hate about going to stores and stuff. If you don't know what you're talking about, just say, hey, look, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can answer this question. You know, that's so much better than bullshitting me around and being like, well, you could do this or maybe this. No, tell me if this will work or that. You know, it's so frustrating when people act like they know what they're talking about. But anyway, I got to the old guy, and he must have misunderstood me at first, because my first question was like, if I just cap off the shower top, you know, take the head off and cap it, will that put back pressure and make, you know, the knobs leak? And he's like, yeah, I think so. But I don't think he understood me, because at the end, when I was like, oh man, what am I gonna, he's like, why don't you just cap the shower head? So he must have misunderstood what I was saying or how I said it. I was like, that's not, he's like, no, just put the handle back in, and even if it leaks, it's better than the thing running, and then you can have water for the whole house. So I had to buy some wrenches off Amazon. They're like big socket wrenches, and because I was looking it up, and when you have a two-handle thing for the shower, it's usually on one spindle. So I just probably got to spray it with WD-40, let it sit overnight. The worst part is I'm going to have to sit there and turn all the water off. But, you know, there's two choices. You know, it's either try to fix it by just unscrewing that one piece and risk breaking the pipe, or waiting and busting the whole wall open to see what's there and then having to fix it even more. So, yeah, I think I'm going to take the first route, and then if I have to, take the second route. Oh, man. Whew. So, anyway, if you guys have been following me on Instagram and stuff, you know I messed up that, I don't even know where I put it now. You know, the dagger that I turned into the S-grind and all that? Well, the S-grind, I was kind of afraid because of how I put the fuller in there, that it would be too thin, and sure enough, it busted through. And me being hard-headed and, you know, just determined, I was like, well, if I don't finish that, I'll just make this kitchen knife. You know, this isn't really the finished product. I was just messing around yesterday. I wanted to see how the hamon would come out. But, you know, everyone's like, hey, why don't you do a kitchen knife? And I have no idea what a kitchen knife is really supposed to feel like or anything, so I was like, I'll just design this and see how it works out. So I'll have to give it to my friend to see how it works. But I actually did a convex grind on it. J-Rock, what's going on? Hey, what's up, Heath? I'm looking at trying to make hamon with W2. I see really nice hamons on Instagram. Who do you think has the nicest hamon? You know, questions like that. That's like saying who has the nicest Ferrari or who has the nicest Lamborghini, or you know, it's questions like that are basically for each person to decide for themselves. I mean, I don't really look at Instagram being like who has the best hamon or hamons, but you know, I have a whole bunch of videos on how to do the different types. I don't have much on W2 though. It's mostly 1095 like this. So, but I still need to go back and do it. But yeah, for the convex grind, I just put some foam on my platen. It was rocking it. And I even tried to do like I took the foam off and I tried to do the swooping plunge into it and then convex the rest of it, but it kind of worked and kind of didn't. But I learned a few things. Oh, man. It was fun. I should get some W2. I haven't done many W2. I think I did that one W2 build, but that was more like, if you use W2, you probably get parts 50. Water, a lot of people, I actually did an experiment with water and soap, where, water and oil, where I used like canola oil and water, and you use a little drop of soap to make a mix. You know, people say oil and water don't mix, but if you put a drop of soap in it, it'd mix up. And it was actually pretty good, but I think I would have added more water than oil. You have very nice, I'm trying to get that cloudy stuff below the, yeah, man, I know what you're talking about. Let me see. Kind of like, oh, I didn't set my light up. Kind of like on that. I don't, man. If you go to this channel and you just type in a playlist, I got a whole playlist. I've got like hamon thesis and how to do hamons and all that. And Law says if you want contrast on any hamon, you have to put in work in polishing. Yeah, see, and it's true. And Jim Skeleton was talking about this on Facebook. He's like, look, you can do everything off the belts, but if you want the real finish, you know, you have to put in the time for hand sanding. Now, if you guys noticed on the Bowie, did I put that video up yet? Man, I've been trying to get so far ahead, I'm confused on which videos have been up and what's not. But if you watch that last video on the Bowie knife where I did the hamon, you know, if you guys know me, I hate hand sanding. And I'll spend, instead of spending 2 hours hand sanding, I'll spend like 6 hours on the grinder and on the buffing wheel and all that stuff to try to avoid hand sanding. And each one gives a different look, and some can give a really good look. But yeah, with the Bowie, I bit the bullet and I sat down and hand sanded because I knew that would be the best look, you know. And there's little tricks, you know, there's a trick I do like on these, if this will show up, where I, like this was all off the belt. So I go up to a, you know, 830, then I go to a 1000, like the blue belts. Let me see. Blue belts like this. They're foam insulated. Man, I was working on the grinder yesterday. I went to grab this and it shocked me like 10 times. I guess it's the felt. And because this room is dry and it's cold. So yeah, I'll go to like an A30. And then I'll go to like a 1000, 1200, and then 2000. And then what I do is I dip it, and then I'll hit it like, see how it's mirrored up here? That's because I buffed it out. But you don't want to really, it's kind of a tricky thing and you have to experiment with it. So what I'll do on the buffer is I'll kind of buff to where the hamon line is, and then I'll turn it this way and buff over the hamon line so it kind of all blends in. You can see I did it with the kitchen knife, but I was just, you know, messing around. I didn't really, you know, I haven't gone to the full extent. But you get that when you really take the time to polish it out and hand sand it and all that, and then dip it and re-dip it and you know, just whatever it takes to do it, you'll get that haze. Because that's what my friend said. He's like, man, your hamons are looking so good. You get that haze under the line and all that. And that's what it's from. Lots of, have a look at Blade Crafter's channel. Great video on hamon polishing. Right on. Yeah, Jay, hamons, man. Hamons, it takes a long time to figure them out. A lot of people think it's the clay or what type of, what you use and how you put it on and stuff, which how you put it on does affect the look some, but like this one, you know, this one I use the gun gum. This one I just use plain refractory cement. You know, like, I think I even have it down in my Amazon links. It's just the regular, you know, you put it in a caulk gun and squirt it out. It's like 1200 degree, or wait, no, 2000 degree refractory cement. So the medium isn't that as important as the polishing and the finishing and the experimenting and see what you like best and stuff. And another thing, my friend was like, man, why aren't the hamon lines a lot higher? Well, if you look, I put the clay way up. It's just because of how the clay, you know, basically the idea of a hamon is to make the spine soft, not really for the image. That's if you get vinegar and lemon juice bring out the white line. Oh, okay. You know, I tried lemon juice and yeah, I see what you're, yeah. If you don't want to etch it like ferric, or see, one of the things, like Laws with your Damascus, the first time I did it, I went right from ferric into coffee and it didn't look right. So what you have to do is dip it in ferric and then sand it out and dip it in ferric and sand it out and dip it in. And then when you, if you want to like really high, you know, like Walter Sorrells and like what Laws do, where it's a really nice high shine, high set and finish on the knife, and then you see the white line in it. Yeah, the lemon juice and stuff like that. Now vinegar, I did that experiment where I boiled vinegar, and that gave a really nice hamon line. I don't even know if that one's here. I don't think it is. Maybe somewhere. I got knives sitting everywhere. Anyway, is it? Any other knife makers got knives that are unfinished everywhere? Because I got a whole bunch. I still got all these and all these. Oh, speaking about that plumbing, I mean the shower. So my first idea was when I pulled this stem out, the reason it wouldn't turn off is because it was stripped. So I was like, I know what I'll do. I'll take a screwdriver and I'll make my own threads. So, you know, I took the stem that went in and I grinded down the screwdriver to a little bit bigger, and then I flattened it down. You probably see like how I flattened it. But no, I think inside is stripped too, because I felt it grab and then I went to turn it and it just went so but you know, little ideas like this, if it wasn't stripped in there, that would have worked. Always thinking sometimes. Oh, man. Whew. So, I bought a 10-pound weight because I noticed, I just bought one because I do everything with this arm, you know, my good arm. So I got a lot of strength in this arm. Now, when I'm playing drums and practicing, I use this arm, but it's only one motion. So I was like, man, if I buy a 10-pound weight, even when I'm like laying there watching YouTube or watching a movie or something, I can lift, you know, and try to build some of this muscle or hold it. And then I was even like, maybe I could even, you know, hold it back here and maybe press my wrist back and straighten my wrist out a little bit and stuff. But man, it sucks knowing that it sucks knowing how weak you really are. I tried to pick that 10-pound. I had to use the other hand just to pick it up and stuff. I'm trying to hold it there, and then I'm trying to hold it with this hand. Whoops, I'm out of shot. I'm trying to hold it with this hand while I'm like doing, you know, curls and stuff, and it's like, man, I can't even lift 10 pounds with this hand. But I mean, it's mostly the wrist and stuff. But it's like, God, it sucks, man. It sucks getting old and weak. Woo, man. You know, when you're young in your 20s, you can take on the world and lift anything. You don't care how your back ends up in 10 years and all that stuff. And, woo. Then you try to do it 20 years later, and it's like, man, where did all my muscles go? Which, man, I'll tell you what, another thing that sucks about getting old, man, whew, this morning waking up was, that's why because on Sundays, you know, I post, hey, you know, set your reminder for the live stream, and I usually do it at noon, but I didn't even get it up to like 1:30 or 1:40, because I was like, oh yeah, but I woke up at like noon, and I was just like, where's my Tylenol? I need the extra strength Tylenol. And man, I took some Tylenol and just laid there like, I don't want to move. Oh man. Getting old sucks. Whew. Then I had this thought, you know, and you gotta stick with me on this one, because it might be weird about that and all this, but it's like, man, if I could have my arm back, you know, or if I could, I don't know how it would work, but you know, if my arm was never messed up and like my heart surgery never happened and all that, would I take it? And you know, on the surface, it seems like an easy answer, because it's like, oh yeah, you have all your motion back, you can hold a pick and play guitar and have all that back. But before my heart surgery and all that, I was a bum. I didn't do anything. I had no motivation in life, and I just was, I was just waiting for the end. And it's like, man, would I really want to go back to that? You know, it's something about the whole heart surgery and, you know, the bad arm just woke me up to, it's like, man, it could be over. It could have been over, you know, yesterday or whatever. And it's like, man, it's a whole new, it's like I didn't start living till after my heart surgery, if that makes sense. So I don't know, you know, I would love to have my arm back and all that and full motion and all that. But would I be a knife maker? Probably not. Would I do YouTube videos? Definitely not. You know, would I have a whole new perspective on life where it's like, you know, you know, it's almost like life has become not a joke to me because I take life serious, but it's like, man, you know, I have no teeth, I have a messed up arm, I have a big scar down the middle of my thing. It's like, man, and still I wake up, I might wake up sore every day, but I wake up wanting to make life better, if that makes sense. So I don't know, I just had that weird thought, and it's like, you know, the thing is, you couldn't take away my messed up arm and give me back teeth and take away my heart surgery without giving me back misery and no motivation and just no, I don't know. Now if I can have both, hell yeah. But I often wonder too if they did fix my arm, how it would change me as a knife maker, because I've adapted my hand. Like you'll see in the next video, I've already got it done. You know, I did a back to basics how to grind bevels video, and I'm trying to do like straight plunges, and my hand is so trained, I'm like doing swooping plunges, and I even mess up a couple times because I'm trying to straighten the plunge line, and it's curving. It's like you know. So I've got myself so trained. It's like I don't know if fixing all that would make it better or worse. Anyway, yeah, it's just a weird thought I had. So, but that's, you know, that's where the blessing and a curse actually come from for the title of this, because man, I'm very observant about a lot of things, and sometimes being observant and being able to figure things out, like the shower and heat treat oven, man, that's a blessing. But man, a lot of times noticing just weird things is a huge curse. You know, like the last few weeks talking about YouTube and being jealous and all that stuff, and you know, and not being able to not pay attention to other people's stuff. It's like I'm so observant. It's like, oh, look how they're doing and I'm not doing this, because I'm so, it's like a curse, you know. Chip says natural sweeping plunges is a good problem to have. Yeah. Unless you want to do something else. Then it's frustrating. Oh man. But oof, yeah, I'm telling you. You know, like the funny thing is, you know, once I messed up that S grind, I had like 3 or 4 people contact me and be like, oh, how about I'll take that knife, you messed it up, I'll take it. And, or they'll be like, hey, how much do you want to sell that knife for now that it's messed up? You know, and I understand the logic. They're like, oh, it's messed up, so he won't charge me as much. But I don't, you know, the way I look at it, I'm not going to sell someone something messed up. And it used to be like when I'd mess stuff up, I would give it away to people. I'd be like, here, yeah, you go ahead and finish it. But that never works out either. Because people, I don't know. People just aren't grateful for stuff, or, I don't know. You know, it seems like, you know, hey man, now that's messed up, why don't you sell it to me for $50? It's like, well, because I don't want you to be like, hey, look at this knife I got from Evader Knives, and it's all, you don't want your bad stuff out there. It's just, yeah, it's a bad thing. Why would you want it out there? You know, people always looking for a deal. It's like, man, you'd rather have something messed up and pay less than have something, you know, nice and pay a little bit more. But which is completely contradictory to what I was talking about earlier with the heat treat oven. You know, I'm a big walking contradiction. I'll tell you one thing that's funny though. When I was waiting for my stainless to get here, I made like 2 or 3 knives off camera. And for me, it's a weird thing, because I'm so used to doing everything on camera. I kept stopping to go to say something. It's like, oh yeah, the cameras aren't on, I don't need to say anything. And you know, I just got myself trained that way, so everything I do is on camera. You know, when I mess up, I know not to cuss because I'm on camera. Which is kind of fun when the camera's off, because I can throw the knife across the room and yell and scream and oof. You know, after that plumbing thing, they were, that thing is a jack of all trades, a master of none. Oh, you shouldn't be that, but I'll tell you what, if I wasn't a jack of all trades, that shower would still be running. Either that or the water would never be back on. So, it's good to learn other trades and figure out. And even if you can't master them, who cares? At least you got the ability to think about it and figure it out and know, okay, well, this kind of works like this, so I could take that to this. Dave, you can do like me and scream and yell and cuss and put it on film. Yeah, I got a good laugh at that one, Bootleg Blades. That was pretty funny. I was like, oh, there he goes. Yeah, I have to turn the camera off when I do it. Oh, every once in a while I'll let them slip. Oh, man. Oh, so, I almost missed the whole point of my being observant, being a curse. I notice a lot of times, because I watch like all the knife makers that I know of or find, and even, other trades and stuff like that. And the one thing, this is where my observant part thing, I think a lot of times, I'm a very selfish person, and I've admitted that plenty of times. I'm very helpful, but I'm also very selfish. Or I'm very, not selfish. I'm very self-centered. Let me put it that way. So a lot of times when I comment on things, I'm like, oh, and I'll tell them what I like about how they did or what I learned from them. But I'll also put in, well, here's how I would do it, or here's how I have done it before. And I think a lot of times other knife makers or especially the YouTube knife makers that are bigger than me, I think a lot of them take it offensive and think I'm trying to tell them what to do instead of just putting in my input. Because I've noticed, like, a lot of the guys, I'll comment on, like, every video. And the ones where I'm like, oh, man, you did a great job. And, oh, man, this is, man, that was an awesome video and blah, blah, blah. They always comment back. But when I say something like, oh, man, you should try it this way. This worked for me. I never get a comment back. And there's quite a few guys that, not just knife makers, but in general, there's guys that do that. And it's like, and this is where my, the observation thing is a curse. Because it's like, I start overanalyzing. It's like, now do I have to change how I comment on people's videos and take myself out of it? Do I have to be like, oh, and I'm not the kind of person where it's like, oh, all I can do is just, kiss their ass and tell them how great they are, because I don't know. So it's like, a lot of times I just don't comment anymore on those guys' stuff, because why should I give them my input if they only want to hear, hey, I'm doing great, And and I tell them that too. So, this is where my analytics drives me crazy. Man, a lot of good guys out, that's the thing. If people comment and tell me, hey, try it this way. This worked for me. Hey, man, I love that kind of stuff. I guess some people just want everyone to look up to them instead of looking at people like, hey, I can learn from this too. I put this video out to help other people, but not only help other people, it helps me too. More self-centeredness, but it's true. If all you did is be like, you have to do it this way, you're just going to be stuck in that rut for the rest of your life. So, I don't know. Me and my cursed over analytics. It just, I don't understand. And and I know some people are probably saying, well, that's just a coincidence. But you'd be surprised how many times it's happened with different people. And it's not just like, I'm not talking about one person in general, or I'm not, one person in general. There's a oxymoron. Maybe I'm just a moron, huh? But, you know, I'm not just talking about one person specific. I'm talking about generalized, a lot of people. If you tell them, hey, this is the idea I had that worked for me, you don't get a comment back. No, okay. If it happened once or twice, I could buy that as a coincidence. Like, they just don't have time to write back. And, you know, I understand when you don't have time to answer comments. But every time it's like, wow, man, that worked out great. And that worked out, man, you did an awesome job. And then you get a comment back. You know, and me being the antagonizer that I am, I'll do it on purpose. You know, when I see people that only respond to good comments, I'll start doing antagonizing. It's like, oh man, you're doing great. And then put in or something. And then, believe me, man, when you have a brain that overanalyzes everything like I do, you think of ways to, I almost cussed, to mess with people. ID. Oh, no, I'm glad I saw that bootleg blade. Etched the guy's name into the blade. He picked it up and spelled his name wrong. Oh, man. I'll tell you what, that's why I have a hard time saying people's names and talking about people. Even, Laws, I said your name wrong for the first 3 or 4 videos. So, I'm horrible with names. Even last week, Taylor Blade showed up, and I kept calling him Tyler. And even since he started doing videos a couple years ago, we both kind of started at the same time. I think I've always called him Tyler, but it's Taylor Blades. So, man, whew. Oh yeah, Bootleg's Blade playing that blues in the background. Yeah. You know, the thing is, with YouTube, you can play music in the background, but once your videos get monetized, any bit of money that would have gone to you is going to go to them. And oh man, oh, I think my Tylenol's wearing off. Woof! Just in time too, because we made it to 40 minutes. Oh man. Me and my OCD. Alright. Whew. I guess I'm going to go back and, I don't know, what am I going to do today? I got a few knives to grind, a few other things to work on, but, yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks, guys, and everyone else for showing up. And, I appreciate it. I got, shirts like this on my website, which should be up in the cards. I got knives on my website, Amazon links, all that good stuff. And, yeah, man, I didn't think I'd make it today, but turned out pretty good. So hope everyone has a good week. Tuesday's videos are already uploaded, so I don't have to worry about that. And yeah, whew. Dave, you should sell it. I should sell. Man, I have a hard enough time making them for myself. Most of the bigger knife makers on Instagram are narcissists. Oh man, to be on social media, you have to be a narcissist. And the thing is, are you going to admit it to yourself or not? You know, that's the whole issue. I mean, man, we all have a bit of narcissism in us. It's how far you take it. Now, just because you're narcissistic doesn't mean you have to be an asshole, you know. It just means you're into yourself and take pride in what you do, you know. Anyway, all right. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, let's have a great week. And I don't know why I have a hard time saying goodbye, but yeah, have a great day. And as always, take it easy.